Everyone. Welcome to the second episode of my podcast. Today I have a special guest with me, Kyle. Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Zaina. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm in Nashville, Ohio. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Kyle is also a fellow Gator with me in the creative finance community. So tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into real estate?
Sure. I I have kind of a different story. I didn't go to high school or college. So after eighth grade, 14, I started working.
Okay.
Worked at a sawmill actually for like 13 years, and just recently quit my job, and now I'm full time in real estate. So yeah, I started real estate investing back in 2020. Bought a duplex, which I still have, but considering selling and just focusing on larger multifamily assets, which is something I'm really excited about. I am also a Gator, which I joined in April, and that's been great so far. Made a lot of connections like you, and yeah, so there's a lot of education that I content I've been consuming and a lot of education, and I feel like I'm ready to start taking massive action. So I right now I'm looking for multifamily deals and looking for deals to lend on as well. So that's a little bit about myself. I actually did start a podcast as well, which is called Real Impact, and the goal with that podcast is to talk about real estate investing as well as empowering other people to get started on their entrepreneurial journey. And I want to show that I wouldn't consider myself successful yet, but I want to show people that with me without having like a high school or college education, if I can do it, then anyone can.
Yeah, I think you're the only person that I've ever met who's never been to like the traditional high school college route, which is fantastic. I mean, that you're able to do all of this, right? And like you said, prove that you don't need to follow the traditional path for you to be successful in life, right? You can
Yeah,
forge your own path.
yeah. I think there's so much free education out there. Like all the tools you need are either in YouTube or in books or podcasts. If you just take what you learn and actually put it into action. Now, there's definitely cases where it would be good to have a college degree, certain positions and things that you probably couldn't do without one. But yeah, I that's funny you said that because a lot of the people I know did not go to high school. So I know more people that did not go to high school
Mm.
versus the other way around. So
Really interesting.
well, we haven't talked about this yet, but so we were talking about your language app
Hmm.
that you're coming out with. The reason I know the PA Dutch language is because I used to be Amish. That's why I didn't go to high school.
Got it.
So
Okay. This just opened up a whole other like questions. Um, okay. Let's what was life like as an Amish?
it was good. I
Yeah.
really appreciative of the way I grew up and
Hmm.
all the values I learned, the value of hard work, just I guess values and principles as well. Um, so like morally and ethically as well. So it was definitely different. Like kind of. So I did go to public school, and I was kind of interacting with I guess more than there's like different I guess levels of Amish, but more than some I guess would be interacting with the world outside of us. But like the Amish are kind of a tight knit community, and yeah, great people, hardworking. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. I'm so used to it. I don't really I can
It gives me a
consider
lot of
it
insight,
I
I
consider it
guess.
normal for me, so I don't really know like what is eye opening for other people to share with them. But
Well, see, that's the great thing about meeting different people, right? Whether it's within real estate or not. We all come with different backgrounds and experiences, and that's how we learn from each other, right? You're the first
Mhm.
Amish person I meet, so
Well,
there's a lot that
I'm
I
not,
can learn from you.
I'm no longer considered Amish, but yeah,
Well,
I was at one time. So
you have that background, right? That
yeah,
you can provide that insight
yeah,
to me, right?
hmm
Um, and that's the great thing, like I said, about meeting other people, right? You bring certain points of views and experiences and value to the table that most people don't have, right?
hmm
And so the more people you meet, more people you interact with, the richer your life becomes, right?
hmm
And then you then provide that value back to the world.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting. I've met through real estate. I've met people from all different parts of the world and different backgrounds, and yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. So tell me about your first deal. You said you bought a duplex back in 2020. Is that correct?
Yes, so I did. I bought it in cash
Okay.
back when the interest rates were very nice, like sub 3%.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think they're around three, something like that. But yeah, I just paid cash for it. So I guess there's pros and cons of that. But doing it over again, I definitely would not have gone that route. I could have
How
bought.
did you find that?
It wasn't on market. Um,
Okay.
it was on the market for I don't know how long it was on for, but yeah, I was looking for. I was kind of at the point where I'd already kind of consumed so much and analyzed things that I was just ready to take action. So I just really scoured the Zillow and was looking for just a deal that made sense. So I made a cash offer of like 51,000, and they accepted it and still have it. I haven't really been making money with it yet. Just had some issues, tenants not paying. Had to replace a roof as well. So it's kind of stabilized now with good tenants and they're paying. So I'm thinking in the next few months I might sell it and either invest into a cash flowing business or become like a limited partner on a uh,
Bigger
multifamily
syndication.
asset. So a syndication. So I haven't
Mhm.
fully decided yet, but that's kind of the path I'm thinking of taking with that.
Okay, okay. I think my screen froze, but we're just going to continue. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
Okay. All right. So you said you wanted to invest in multifamily. Where do you primarily invest?
So Akron is the market I bought my duplex, Akron, Ohio.
Uh-huh.
Um, I do like Columbus, which is kind of the hot spot in Ohio right now. There's a lot of tech moving in. I know Intel, Amazon, don't know who else for sure, but they bought a lot of land and are planning on building some uh, big buildings and just moved a lot of business here in Ohio near Columbus. So I think that's a lot of the reason why Columbus has kind of exploded recently.
Hmm.
And that market is definitely tougher to especially for a newer investor like me, tough to get my foot in the door in that market in the multifamily side of things. So I'd say Columbus, Akron, Cleveland. Um, looking at a deal today in Cleveland, a large multifamily deal, underwriting it today. So yeah, I guess anywhere in Ohio, like that within like 3 hours for me, I definitely look at.
Okay. Okay. What is one thing you wish you knew or had when you first started?
I'd say there's a lot of things. Just the mindset, is the biggest thing. That's the biggest hurdle I've had to come through or to go through.
Hmm.
Um, I used to be. I'm still very like independent and try to do things myself. But if I would have known like it actually does take a team to like really scale and succeed, I would have started trying to network more in the beginning and build more of those relationships. Uh, which is yeah, that's the number one thing for me.
Got it. And you've talked about your goals. Um, a little bit. Can you elaborate on that? Like, what is your goal? It could be real estate related or life related.
Hmm. Um, I have obviously. I think it's important to make goals and to write them down.
Hmm.
I do have. I don't have like a long term yet. So like I have a short term, like 5 year goal of having 1,000 units under management, um, apartments, uh, and a 1 year goal, or I guess this is more of a 6 month goal of getting a deal closed, a multifamily asset, and also buying a business creatively in the next 6 months.
Hmm.
That's all I have right now. I definitely need to do more goal setting and maybe some longer term goals, but feel like it's really hard to like longer than even 5 years is kind of hard to do because I know it'll change over time and the path will, to get there will change as well. But I think it's still good to have like a benchmark out there to aim for.
100%. Without that, there's nothing to move towards.
Hmm.
That could always change, but at least you have something. That's always important.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard. I'm not sure who quoted it, but I think it goes like this: If you aim for, I can't get it. It's like if you aim for something, you might hit it, but if you don't aim for anything, you're guaranteed to miss it.
Yeah, a hundred
It's
percent.
not word for word, but it's something like that. So.
Yeah, yeah, very useful. I don't know about you, but I think most people who get into real estate are the only people in their circles when they start out, whether it's their family circle or their friend circle who go into real estate. And for many, it's especially if they're doing creative financing, it seems to be what they do is very misunderstood. So, what is the most misunderstood thing about what you do?
That's easy.
Hmm.
Um, Everyone I talk to that is not in my circle, like not in real estate, I guess, asks assumes I have my real estate license. Every single person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep.
that is definitely, I'd say that's definitely the most misunderstood thing is everyone thinks I have a license and I'm selling homes, and
Yeah.
so I have to kind of explain that I'm more on the investing side versus the selling side.
Yep. 100%. I have the same thing. I mean, my parents, every time I tell them I'm going to a meetup or I have a real estate event, they always come back and say, "Did you sell any houses?" I'm like, "No, I'm not selling houses. I'm not buying." They're like, "Oh, so you're going to class for your license." I'm like, "No, not doing that either. I'm
Uh-huh.
just going to meet people who can help me get into deals as an investor."
Hmm.
So definitely feel that. Definitely feel that. Okay, last question to kind of finish this up. And then we were talking about this a little bit before, but what are 2 to 3 books that you would recommend to anyone who would like to get into real estate?
Yeah, so these aren't, I guess, necessarily real estate books, but the biggest one for me has been there's two of them. Think and Grow Rich is one, and How to Win Friends and Influence People is the other one. Those are my definitely two favorite books. Um, the I Think and Grow Rich is a book that I've read this year and studied it quite a bit, and I think that's kind of been the catalyst for me to actually take action, like putting content out. And I'm still not taking enough action on the real estate investing side of things, but it's definitely changed my mindset. So that book is definitely, I'd say, top one for me. And the other one is really good at the How to Win Friends and Influence People. Is very good at teaching how to interact with people and to relate to people and to be. I guess it's just a good overall, like a good person overall. So those are definitely two books I would recommend.
Definitely a classic. Definitely one that most people should read. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, thank you so much, Kyle, for taking the time to chat with me today. I learned a lot. And if anyone wants to reach you or find you, where can they do that?
Yeah, sure. So Instagram and YouTube, real Kyle Troyer. Facebook, I'm just Kyle Troyer. LinkedIn, Kyle Troyer as well. So
Perfect. Well, thank you again. And we will be talking soon.
thanks, Dana. Yeah, for sure.